This video is a much deeper dive into the shaders and other aspects of this digital timer. For the quick overview, see the other video. Link is in the description. Firstly, this digital timer comes with 3 distinct shader packages. I call this one the original because it's the first version I made and I'm not very imaginative. Anyway, it's metal with plastic trim and a black on blue themed display. I think it's the most realistic looking of the 3 and wouldn't be out of place on a desk or countertop in any scene, really. I've called the second shader Dental because it looks like something I would expect to see at my dentist's office. It's in white plastic with blue plastic trim with a blue on white themed display. I think it'd look pretty realistic in a clinical setting, and it'd also fit well in a clean, crisp sci-fi scene, maybe on Narkina 5. The third shader is called Corroded. I think that makes sense. This is something you might expect to find in a mechanic's toolbox or maybe in a defunct toxic lab environment. I think this is the most gamified version, something I might expect to find in a game or perhaps running a countdown in the bottom corner of the screen, something like that. Now when you bind the timer, you get access to several files. There's a zip file with the textures, a blend file, which is the native format for the model, and then the FBX version. All 3 times 3 so that there's a version for each shader. The meshes are identical in all the model files. I've just made 3 versions to deliver the shaders pre-configured so you can just import and use without having to configure a thing. This model really comes ready to use out of the box, so to speak. If, however, your model loads up, and it's all pink because you put your models and textures in different places, all you have to do is use the Find Missing Files feature of your program. External data, find missing files, and it'll just load up the whichever one you pick. Let's go with Dental. Missing files. There we go. If you're using Blender, you can just append the collection from the version you want. There's only one collection in the file, so you should be able to find it. If you're importing the FBX model, then make sure to include custom normals and subdivision data. If you don't include the custom normals, your program might set the LCD tiles to smooth shading, which really breaks the clean look. They have the back shaded smooth to avoid leaving the object fully faceted because that's a big no-no, but smooth shading on the front splits the faces between the tiles. Just import with custom normals to avoid having to deal with that. So with the display laid flat, put that at 0 degrees, you just grab the base, and with snapping to near its face, if we just grab that, it'll just snap onto the wall in your scene, whatever you like. And there is, of course, an included magnet on the back here. We should look from the front. Just rotate them a bit this way. There we go. It's a little better. So there's a magnet on the back for sticking it to a wall. There's 4 little pads on there when it sits on a desktop. The legs, of course, can be collapsed inside. And then we've got these speaker holes up here for the alarm when it goes off, and a little battery door. This particular shader kind of has like oil stains on all the plastic. So when you're looking to set the numbers on the tiles, just select the given tile. There's 2 for the minutes, and there's 2 for the seconds, and then there's this one here that displays the M and the S. So pick one of the number tiles. I'll pick this one over here. And then find the image attached to the alpha channel. And in this case, the image is set to the 7-segment display A. So A is blank because there's no number specified. But if you open up and you look at these shaders here, all the ones for EC17, every shader will give you a corresponding number. So let's pick a 5, and we've got a 5. Like I said, if you wanted to turn it off again, like have it display nothing, you look for the one that doesn't have the D after it, and that's actually all the way up at the top here. And that would be blank. So we could set this one over here. Just look at that alpha image again. And we could pick 6. Doesn't make sense. That's okay. Anyway, same thing with the M and the S. If we look at the alpha here, right now it's pointed at MS, the LCD AMS. And if we look for the MS, the other version, here's one that says off. MS off, select that one. And there it is, that part of the screen is now blank. So you might do that if it was the display was completely off, you could make that go away. If you want it back, we'll look for the MS. Without the off, the alpha. There it is, MS alpha. Anyway, so you can change it there, or if you want, go back to layout view here. When you first import the model, it comes with this extra tile just hovering up above. And I put that there because it's got pre-configured shaders for each number. So you could take that tile itself just to make your own separate display. But while it's here, I just hide it. And then over on the shaders tab, it's got a shader for every digit. 3, 4, 5. So let's just pick this one over here. So let's just pick this one. Let's change that to something that makes sense. So it's set to, right now it's set to its original shader, S1, where you would change the image. But if you just want to select a pre-configured shader, just look for these ones up here with the numbers on them. Let's make a 4. There. Over here, same thing. We can just look for the correct shader. Put a 7 there. There's a 7. So very easy to set the numbers. As well, the illumination on each tile can be set just using the emission strength. So you can turn the illumination on the tiles off or on as well. So you can set the numbers very easily, and the entire display itself can just be rotated, shut or open, to lay flat if it was going to be on a wall like this on a desk, or closed up if you were hiding it away. I think that's plenty of options for the display. So next I'll go on to the controls here. Like I said, they're very multilingual, just using an M and an S. That'll work in Spanish and German, a lot of languages. The reset is just a bunch of zeros, symbols on the play button. Also, there are shape keys on the buttons. If we look over here, there's the shape key. So press the minute button. There it is. We can make that move up and down. The second button, same thing. Just select the corresponding shape key. The main button can be animated. The feet, as I said. Let's just move this guy around a little bit. The feet can be collapsed in, and the lid slammed shut. Oh, that's it. 180 is shut. And then you've got a nice little timer that you could hide away somewhere. Make it something to search for in a game. I'll show you on this one. There's battery cover as well is done in the trim color. So we'll talk a little bit about the topology. That's the main controller. If we tab into edit mode, we've got 2416 vertices. Let's just look at the whole thing. So there's a total of 7,656 vertices and 7,660 faces. Let's select the faces that have 4 sides. Select all by trait, faces by sides, equal to 4, and that's 7660 out of 7660. So that's 100% quads topology. And select all by trait, poles by count. Let's say greater than 4. So we do have a few 5 poles on here. I've tried to keep them off the edges wherever possible, so they're out on some very flat surfaces. And if we select all by trait, poles by count, if we went greater than 5, 0. So there are no 6 spoke poles or anything like that. Definitely no n-gons. So as I said, this thing really scales up very easily. You can have it be just about any size you want. The standard, as you can see, the base is less than 4 centimeters this way. It's plenty less than a centimeter high. It's only about 6-7 millimeters high. Again, you know, scale it as you please. And the width, switch to a top view, it's just over 5 centimeters in width at the base scale. So let's go look at the UVs. UVs totally flat, completely unwrapped, and ready for painting. Let's look at the UVs for the different objects. Again, everything very flat, ready to paint. No overlapping or stretching at all. So all in all, this is a very solid model, and I think I've addressed everything. The time can easily be set in a number of ways. It can be on a counter, on a wall. It can be folded, compact, perhaps to be, a hidden object to find in a game or something like that. The legs and display are easy to animate around the control base. There's even shape keys to depress the buttons. All that and 3 distinct shading packages. What more could you want? Tell me in the comments.